everybody, what's going on? I got a good one. I couldn't wait till Monday. I have absolute proof that I'm a time traveler. And what else do we have? Joe Rogan, in fact, is trying to start a paramilitary now in Idaho. Allegedly. My kids start their first business. The greatest example of a snake eating itself I've ever seen. Ever in my life. There's two examples, actually. All right. Blessings, BB and Bears. You as well. I'm in a much better mood. I know I went all Bobby Knight and threw some chairs last stream and gave a pep talk, and I got a lot of great emails that people really enjoyed the rant, which is good. Just think of it as a coach. Don't think of it as someone being mean. So that has to go in today's title. Which part, God? I'm going to make some improvements myself. And, we'll just keep crushing. All right, so let's just get into it. We got a lot of great stuff. As you guys file in, because I know that a lot of people don't have Odyssey on their phone as an app, which is fine. I know that jumping around isn't the easiest thing in the world, and in the future we'll embed this at unbearablesmedia.com. And so as you guys let each other know that we're live or whatever, I will play you guys a song if you want to hear it. Joe Rogan's Ruby Ridge paramilitary. Yeah, I have proof. You guys have 100% proof. Any quick song requests before we get going? I'm feeling something. I want to play something pretty. How about? Trump sleeps, he sleeps. Trump is sleepy, he's weepy. Trump sleeps, he's so sleepy, he's weepy. He's a sleepy little drunk, he's a weepy little drunk in his bunk bed with Rudy. Rudy, get in here, Rudy. Oh my God, Rudy Giuliani, you little digger. All right, let's get it going. All right, so here's the absolute proof that I'm a time traveler. First off, I was painted in a painting about 400 years ago. Check this out. And there it is. Like, that's weird, right? Okay, so there's me painted in a painting. I don't know who that's supposed to be. It looks like a man that's crushing pretty freaking hard. Look at that. Okay, now you want more proof I'm a time traveler? No problem. I was right about Squirt Coin. Elon Musk makes X-rated UK-based cryptocurrency surge by 350% with several bizarre tweets. He said, "Cum rocket to the moon." Guys, I called Cum Coin. I knew they were going to combine jerking off and cryptocurrency. I just didn't know when. Guys, I called it. And you can pretend for like a minute, you'll be like, "Oh, wow, gravy." And then you'll be like, "Oh, I mean, everybody knew about Cum Coin." Guys, I called it. Oh, it's almost like I was here before. All right, anyway. Guys, I called Cumcoin. Oh, hey, Big Bear. Oh, you're the sick one. You're the one that's gay. You're the one that's the one that's pervert. No. I knew they were going to combine squirting and crypto. Hey, well, just because of cum rocket coin. Elon Musk, the king of crypto, literally is pushing cum coin. I want that on the record. That all Benjamin's so crazy. Oh, Benjamin. By the way, get your allegedly hoodies at unbearablesmerchandise.com. Yeah, that's insane that I called that. Because I don't know I'm a time traveler. I'm still learning myself. This is all coming. Like when I saw this painting, I mean, I didn't know I was that guy, allegedly. All right, and if you want to super chat us, it's entropystream.live/app/Owen Benjamin Comedy. I called Squirtcoin. They invented Squirt. Maybe they're just copying me. I don't know. Which could be, that's a little alarming. Maybe I should stop giving them ideas. All right, Squirtcoin is the future, guys. No, none of it's the future. It's all stupid. If at this point people don't realize how stupid cryptocurrency is, I mean, it's all you. I mean, it's all good. All right, check this out. This will make you laugh. Someone just sent me this. I just saw it in my email. All right, check this one out. Yeah, these deep fakes are sweet. Watch this one.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Hang on, watch that one.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Dude, that looks pretty real. All right, how about this one? Let's watch the other one again. It's hilarious. All right, as a little short, but thanks for making that for me. How do I put it on IG? I don't know how to put it on. Oh yeah, I gotta email it to myself. I don't know. Fucking. All right, Temple Bear, who is a master tree feller. There's a banner underneath this stream that reads, "The U.S. government is attempting to destroy the cryptocurrency industry. Can you help?" Are you serious? Dude, Odyssey's retarded. I'm glad that I'm here. I don't care. I'm never going to back one of these stupid sites that allows me temporarily until they have an IPO. I don't give a fuck about Odyssey. I mean, oh, by the way, if you want to watch these live, go to Odyssey. I tried with D Live. I gave it my best shot. These people are all retarded. The U.S. government trying to come at our Squirtcoin. Guys, if you're listening to this on Odyssey, don't get cryptocurrency. These people are fucking retarded. And they'll let me on here for about 6 months as they get their clicks and their likes, and then they're going to try and go do a scam. They do it every time. But, we can use the servers, no problem. All right. And if you want to see where you should subscribe, check this out. These are all the channels, and then I'll show you the Temple Bear stuff. I'll just read them off. Just do it right now on your phone if you can. Or not. It's fine. Minds.com/Owen Benjamin, social.infogalactic.com, unauthorized.tv, app.barrytariatimes.com, that one's big, odyssey.com/@Owen Benjamin, t.me/Owen Benjamin Comedy, bitshoot.com/Owen Benjamin, rumble.com/user/Owen Benjamin, vk.com/Owen Benjamin Comedy, parlor.com/Owen Benjamin, tv.gab.com/channel/Owen Benjamin, gab.com/Owen Benjamin, brighteon.com/channel/Owen Benjamin, unbearablesmedia.com/Owen-Benjamin. Holy fuck. All right, so those are where we're at now. In 6 months, I'd say 3 of them I'll be kicked off at. Want to know where I will not be kicked off is P.O. Box 490, Sandpoint, Idaho 83864. And if you'd like to super chat me and COD right now to keep this stream going, entropystream.live/app/ YouTube.com/Owen Benjamin Comedy. Thank you. God, have you tried PeerTube? If that's not enough right now, then who cares? Dude, as soon as you get gammas to spiral on other Odyssey channels, you'll be transitioning over to the next streaming service. Haha. No, because the crypto lie requires a little bit of stability. That's why we kind of gravitated towards the crypto channels, because they're lying. SD Live, they're lying right now. Like Odyssey right now is lying. So is D Live. They'll kick you out. So crypto is not stable at all. It's another level of enslavement. You know, I like YouTube more than Odyssey. Oh, how dare you not beg us for letting you? I think we know that one hand washes the other in this situation. But as the snake eats itself, I don't give a fuck about Odyssey, and they don't give a fuck about me, by the way. But as the snake eats itself, by the way, this is me in a painting 400 years ago. No big deal. Nigeria indefinitely suspends Twitter after president's tweet was deleted. Now that's an actual president, unlike our last president, who was an orange-faced sodomite who just complained. Want to know who Trump reminded me of? Is that like those bitchy wives that sit in their BMW that their husband gets them and all they do is complain. Oh, sales never around for me. That's why I smoke cigarettes and bang black guys. Ugh. That was Trump. Why am I being censored? Want to know what Nigeria does? He says no more Twitter. No more Twitter. No more Twitter for you. That's how you lead. You say, okay, you don't want me? Then you're not allowed in my country. So then how does Twitter respond? We are deeply concerned by the blocking of Twitter in Nigeria. Access to the free and open internet is an essential human right in modern society. Are you a private company or a human right? Why don't you figure it out, Satanists? Okay? We see it now. Everyone sees it that matters. All the people that can't see it are not long for this world. We will work to restore access for all those in Nigeria who rely on Twitter to communicate and connect with the world. Really? Hey, Nigeria, I'm the funniest comedian in America. My name's Owen Benjamin. I've committed no crimes. I have no criminal record. I've never even been arrested. But yet, Twitter has not allowed me on for over 3 years. Keep doing it, Nigeria. I know the Nigerians aren't great around unlocked bikes. That being said, locked bikes, they probably get itchy fingers and sweaty palms. But they're awesome. I'm so pumped for Nigeria for doing this. And I mean, I know the grabblers are going to mysteriously, allegedly maybe, discover oil in Nigeria. But it's like, hey, Nigeria, you're 100% right. It's not a human right. It's bullshit. It's a way to censor and control. Your leadership knows that sodomy is disgusting. It wrecks the anuses of men and women. And if you don't, dude, it's not just corporations doing this. It's the people. The Nigerians have a strong enough Islamic population. Oh, how dare you not be a base Christian? Okay, most Christians in America right now are trying to pump and dump something called cum rocket coin, and they're wearing masks and injecting their children with poison. So let's take a look at the Middle East right now. Mercedes-Benz Middle East is not celebrating Pride Month. Neither is BMW or Cisco. At Owen Benjamin on Gab, we said Muslim countries have a different drop-top policy. Use promo code HARAM to get 100% off the roof. Oh, how dare you? You're promoting it. I don't give a shit. I like results, guys. I don't give a shit. That's why I'm obsessed with the Amish. It's results. It's like, okay, this Nigerian knows he will lose if he cucks to sodomy. This guy, look at his face. He's been punched in the face a lot. That guy is no stranger to being beaten up. He knows that if he cucks and does a rainbow flag, he's going to get murdered, allegedly. So that's why he's like, okay, no more Twitter. When you're in a country where the population, it's not the corporations, it's the population. America has an extremely weak rectum right now from pumping and squirting. And listen, if you want to If you want to pretend otherwise, go ahead. You want to go to one of Charlie Kirk's Coke parties? Old sniffy-nosed Kirk? Cocaine Kirk? You want to obsess about Donald fuck my mouth Trump? Those guys are not going to help you at all. Donald Trump exported sodomy propaganda to Africa to try and weaken the rectums of good, strong men. All right? Just know that. And he bragged about it with Charlie Cokehead Kirk. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. They are what they are. I'd hang with Trunk. I'd go golfing with Trunk. Dude, I'd watch Charlie Kirk do cocaine. I would not indulge. But if Charlie Kirk was like, dude, I'm Charlie Kirk. Dude, I like your comedy. I'd be like, hey, man, how are you? Like, I wouldn't, like, punch him in his giant fucking forehead. Like, it's the same with Trump. And Trump is like, hey, Big Bear, do you want to go golfing with me? I got brand new gloves. We got to bam China. I'd be like, hey, man, cool. I wouldn't, like, beat up Trump. But, like, you have to understand, these people are not your guy. Charlie Cum Rocket Coin, yeah. Donald fuck my mouth Trump, hilarious. Yeah. He's like, hey, look, it's Sleepy Joe Biden. Hey, look, it's Crooked Hillary. Hey, look, it's fuck my mouth Trump. I don't know what to do with that rhetoric. That's way too intense for me. Well, hey, Trump, if you want to play ball, if you want to be funny, if you want to really get it going, you got to be able to throw haymakers like that. Donald fuck my mouth Trump. Listen, I said it to Stormy once. She said I have a mushroom ween because of anal. All right. I love your blum. All right. And if you caught any super chats yet, entropystream.live/app/Owen Benjamin Comedy. Come on, tip that piano man. I'm crushing. All right. Who's up next? Good day, Owen. Finally made a chat. Nice. So anyway, and would you like to see where America's at? Police officers, check this out. See this? That's a cop car right there. That's a cop car. Okay, so you get it. So that's a police. So police are now, the new protocols are don't pursue anyone. What is a mushroom weed, asked Rebecca Bear? Bless your soul, Rebecca Bear. I'm glad you never even know what a mushroom weed is. I don't want to talk about it. I've said too much as it is. Apparently Donald Trump has a mushroom cap ween. The tip looks like a mushroom. All right, so anyway, so the cities in America, I mean, the cucking in America is so crazy right now, especially in cities. Like, a motorcycle cop recently was just, like, backed over by a gang member, and the guy took off. And the new protocol is to not chase them. Just let them go. Why? Because if you chase them, it's too dangerous. It's too dangerous, so maybe later you're not going to be able to get pumped in your ass or do coke with Charlie Kirk. All right. I'm being vulgar. God's checking the super chats. All right, what else we got next? So, media continues to lionize Anthony Fauci despite his damning email, says thehill.com. And then up pops up, oh, we have a bunch of super chats. I'll get to that snake eating itself in a second. It's hilarious. All right, Bunny Bear, for the comedian who makes people laugh every day and his trusty sidekick Buckets, and that's buckets of dirt. Spy, thanks, Bunny Bear. Spy says, a tip for the piano man, God bless your family, Bayou Bear. Thank you. Scar Bear, who is, actually, I'm not going to say who's helping us build Ursa Rio. Now that I've done my paramilitary training, can't wait for paramilitary Gary training. Paramilla Gary training. Scar Bear. By the way, we're not doing paramilitary training at Ursa Rio. We will eventually be building a castle. That's totally fine. According to the rules and regulations in zoning. I've already looked into it. Castle's totally fine. And yeah. But want to know who is starting a paramilitary right now? And I have 100% proof that Joe Rogan is starting a military right now. in the jungles of Idaho. Look. For those of you just listening, it's two midgets holding a gun. That's Joe Rogan right there and another midget. And they're trying to shoot this was moments before Joe Rogan went deaf because they're not wearing ear protection. So I may not be making I will be building a castle. That's one thing I do want to clear up. I'm not doing a paramilitary. I am doing a castle. That is years down the line. Right now we've done, I'm not even going to say what we've done, but we have chords. Dude, the funniest thing in these hit pieces against me was one of them said, hang on. I can't find it this fast. It said, he already has secured 1,000 bags of cement and 40 cords of wood. Okay, this is written by total retards that don't even know what a cord of wood is. A cord of wood is a 4x4x8 unit of firewood. A family can go through 6-8 cords of wood in a winter if they're heating their entire house, maybe 4 cords. They literally said that was had to do with my count. That is a ton of wood. Yeah, we're building cabin walls with the cord wood and mortar. Okay, we did a pour with cement trucks for the foundations for 3 cabins. It was 120,000 pounds of cement. Guys, 1,000 bags of cement is not a lot. That's not anything. So a 12 by 12, a 20 by 20, and I can't remember the third one. The pads, because you do footers and then you do pads with I almost called it rhubarb. Rhubarb. No, rebar in the pads because we want really good foundations. And so that's all that is. Like any building you see, if you see a small building, that's probably 1 million pounds of concrete. It's hilarious. Anyway, and I want to show you this. This is they also called me an anti-Semite, which is going to really affect my Aryan Israelis. Check this out. Someone, one of the Israeli bears just sent me this. This is the Israeli bear meetup, aka Aryan Kosher Nation. Happened last week. So we're having Israeli meetups because, thinking that all Israelis are Mossad agents trying to overthrow America as the equivalent of the rest of the world, thinking every American is Charlie, fuck my mouth, snort the coke, Kirk. You guys get what I'm saying. There's a lot of people in Israel that just want what you want. They want families, gardens. They want to talk gravy. They don't think the earth is spinning. It's great. So these hit pieces are so funny because they're an anti-Semite, white supremacist also has compounds in Israel. It's yeah, but doesn't that kind of contradict what you just said? Because these are Semites. These people are Semites. And Semite doesn't mean Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro looks to me like a bit of a Khazarian. Granted, we're letting in Khazarians if they want. Fortunately, they wean themselves off because victim consciousness isn't welcome here. Tyler Goldstein is Khazarian, and we love Tyler Goldstein. He's not a victim. He stands up. He crushes. A Semite is someone who looks a little darker, more Arab. Rebecca Bear looks more Semitic than Ben Shapiro. Or Dennis Prager is an Ashkenazi Khazarian. Not that it matters. It's not about bloodlines and titles. That's in the Bible. That being said, those people are from kind of Turkey, Russia area. Some of them were called magicians from the steppe. Okay. The people in Israel, these bears, look much more Semitic. And so when people say I'm anti-Semite, bear in mind, a lot of Palestinians are Semitic. They're Semites. Semite is a type of language that goes back to Phoenicians. It's crazy. Sometimes I used to tell people how smart I was because I thought it would clear things up. Where I'm oh, no, I'm crazy smart. And they're like, no, how dare you? Oh, mommy said it's smart. I'm like, no. I'm like, I know a lot, and I'm not anti-Semitic. And you're like, eh. I'm like, you don't even know what Semite means. Semantics comes from Semitic because phonetics, Phoenician. I think they might have been the first people. I don't know. I mean, allegedly. Who like got into a certain type of speech, because think about how many words comes from phono to the phone, 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 phonetics, Phoenician. So the Phoenicians come from it's a language category called Semitic, semantics, Semite. It's a type of language, or it could be language itself. Very deep gravy there. So to say I'm anti-Semitic, it's like I'm anti-semantic, which means I don't like commas or dashes or semicolons. When you do too much sodomy, you get a semicolon. So I'm anti-semantic. That laugh will be clipped and will be used in the Kootenai County News to terrify my neighbors. All right. Phonics. Hooked on Phonics works for me. Hey, Cod, will you post the newest Super Chats? I told you guys I was in a good mood. After Friday, I know I gave everybody a huge pep talk and I was very aggressive. I really wanted a nice, lighthearted, fun stream, and I was feeling I went for a great run with the kids this morning. We do laps in the field. Amy's crushing. The garden's crushing. Everyone's having a great time. I had a lot of funny shit to talk about, so I'm like, I know it's Sunday, but we're doing a live stream. Mike Whelan just bought a record-breaking amount of Girl Scout cookies. Yeah, he probably thinks they're hot. I mean, he's allegedly a pedophile. He's also a failed comedian. Guys, you know how they call me former comedian, even though as a comedian, I'm as accomplished as you can possibly be. I've literally done Carnegie Hall. Oh, how dare you? I've done the O2 Arena in London. I've been on a sitcom for 3 years. I've done Leno, Fallon. My heroes put me in movies. I was a star of my own movie. My picture was hanging up in the air. Okay, Mike Whelan is a failed comedian. He tried to do stand-up, and they wheeled him off stage. And he can move his legs, by the way. It's in the interview. He moves his legs around. He's probably in a wheelchair just to get near kids, allegedly. If I had to validate every time I accuse someone of being a pedophile, I could never get anything done. All right. Dearest Big Bear, listening to Friday's stream as I work in the peach trees, I get emotional and felt so much love for you. Thank you, Seabass. Thank you beyond words for what you do. Please verify me as Seva Bear. Letter soon. Welcome, Seva Bear. Thank you. That's very sweet. OBB says, missed the stream live. It was legendary. You did not go too hard in the paint. People need that. Wasted talent. What has become? The letter today was a sink. The saloon is the only saloon. Shekels onward. I love you, buddy. And we also got rid of the Odyssey chat. Yeah, Odyssey isn't, I mean, being crypto-centered is ridiculous. And so we'll see if they kick me off early there, it'll hopefully wake people up that crypto is not security. Crypto is ridiculous. Oh, how dare you? Bitcoin. Dude, Elon Musk is now promoting Rocket Coin, which I called 6 months ago, and people called me crazy. So you might want to start listening to me. Sleep Deprived Bear says, the Bard King is one of the few people in the world that can transmute the venom of the gammas into comedic gold. Thank you for doing so. Love it, Sleep Deprived Bear. 3D Printing Bear says, towards the slaying of the debt-based Coddington. I think Cod's out of debt now, aren't you, Coddington? God might be looking for Ursa Tropica. He's looking for an acre down there in Florida to, stretch his feet out. Well, okay, can I tell you a dream and then I'll keep going? Every 6 to 8 hours in every direction in America will be land owned by me that the Bears can use as, I'm not making any promises. If I don't like you, you're not allowed, and we will have checks. We will have an ability of figuring out who's allowed, who isn't, membership only, all that bullshit. Private. This is not a fucking promise. And we do have to do more fundraising. But since the future is all about driving, let's just say a certain mother bear of a certain big bear may be driving out to see me with someone else. That's all I'm saying. I don't even think I was supposed to say that. I don't care. I'm saying it. What if we lived in a country where every 6 to 8 hours we had like between 1 and 5 acres where people could camp and rest? There's a well, security, solar panel, and a garden, right? How unbelievable would that be? Where every 6 to 8 hours in any direction, there is a bear campground for bears only, private property, no money exchange. All that I ask is you bring something and leave it like seeds or something cool, maybe help work on something, or just sleep and rest. That's the future of America, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't give a fuck if Mike Whelan wants to paramilitary every 6 to 8 hours. Say whatever the fuck you want. What I'm doing isn't illegal. And I do know for a fact that the people that appear to be oppressing are losing power. My attacks have been gamma up lately. It hasn't been the ISI round as much. Those people are busy trying to maintain power in a shrinking fucking pyramid, and they know it. And so as that happens, we're going to build our way out of Babylon, right into Bertaria. And I don't give a fuck. All right? If you want to slander me for having these dreams, go ahead. When you're painted in paintings 400 years ago with an identical beard and haircut, you can talk to me. When you call cum rocket coin, you can talk to me. All right, thanks for the perspective. Anytime. Hey, BB, recently I got a compliment from my garden. It's not that impressive as the ones I see on the BT app. But I ever heard the contractor say, whoa, this is like heaven. Yeah, it's the garden. Yeah, the garden. Oh, the Trinity. People forget Genesis. They don't give a fuck about Genesis, all these churchian. Oh, did you get your shot in mask? I can't do cocaine with Charlie Kirk unless they take down my mask. Oh, Donald fuck my mouth Trump is coming to a stadium. I got to get my vaccine, so maybe he'll fuck my mouth. Genesis, guys, the garden. The earth is not a spinning ball, and you should probably be growing a garden before you're like, only through the Son do you get to the Father. Grow a fucking tomato first before telling other people who's going to heaven and who's going to hell. You've never even seen heaven. All right. And took some food home. Yeah. That's how you spread love, right? Man, that felt great, and I'm just getting started. I have you to thank. Also glad to contribute to Walter's storybook. Keep crushing. Thomas, I love you. Ebby says, shout out from Rochester, New York. I love Amy's Instagram feed. Oh, I love it. I've spent a lot of time in Rochester, New York. I lived for a summer on Madison and Goodman. A lot of bike thieves. A lot of crack. All right, Comfortable Bear says, my comedian crushes. Yes. Lady QAnon Bear says, as much as it sounds, you wish us Q-tards might take a long walk off a short pier. I'm with you. Oh, yeah, I already read that one. Well, yeah, the problem with Q-tards is you make truthers sound ridiculous. But other than that, I do respect your loyalty. All right. This is interesting. One is innocent, and it's the bat. All right, I forgot to. My kid's first business. Check it out. You want to talk about heaven? Right there. Eggs that they collect from chickens that they raised, selling in front of their house. Look at how proud they are. Guys, I can't describe to you what that feels like. To raise these children from the time they're babies, to raise these chickens, and then to be able to have a farm stand with a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old who speaks Vietnamese. All right. There's nothing like that. And if you want to sit around and go, there's it done and Holy Ghost, I'm the special boy. I'm like, fuck you. Oh, Temple Bear, who, by the way, is awesome at felling trees, gave Walter a drum. And I wanted to share with you the joy that it gave Walter. Here we go. Dude, it's almost like Jack played the guitar. He's like, me, me. You see that? Jack does air guitar. Watch this. Jack's like, wee, 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 wee. We're going to start a band. Guys, Jack, I mean, the real MVP of that jam session was Jack. He was like, yes! All right, Walter looks so proud. Yeah, everybody's crushing. It's a great day in the neighborhood. All right, we're going to watch Jack play air guitar again. Like, no offense to Wally, he crushes on a ton of stuff. Really athletic, smart kid, beautiful soul. He's the least musical. Charlie and Jack are both way more, like, they're more drawn to music. Like, I can see Walter being a really good violin player because he has the discipline, he's learning, and he's going to do great. He's, like, got an engineering mind, and he's very disciplined. But Charlie and Jack are so musical. All right, watch Jack. Because I was always very musical. Like I've been drawn to instruments since I was literally a baby. And there's something you can't. And so with Walter, I'm always like, "Come on, let's play piano." And he's like, "I want to do Legos." So I can see Walter being more like a construction guy, engineer, carpenter, plumber. These are all the jobs I want for him. Yes, he's very good on camera and very entertaining. I'm just going to keep moving away from that no matter what. I want him to be a very charismatic carpenter or contractor or, insulator. Something that's valuable. Farmer. He can take over, when I finally jump into the Mount Doom holding the last gamma, he'll inherit Ursa Rio and Ursa Manor and, Crush. So awesome to watch them grow and crush. Yeah, Jack has alpha posture. Yeah. Jack's almost as big as Charlie. Look at Jack. Watch this. He's like, yes.
Huckleberry, huckleberry, huckleberry. Very good. Can you do pineapple?
Yeah, Jackie. What a bunch of legends. Now let's take a look at that bear again. Hang on a second. Where's that bear thing? Here we go. Is that the wrong one? This just makes me laugh. Makes me happy. Oh, man. As soon as I start grooving, it ends. All right, if you want to super chat us, it's entropystream.live/app/Owen Benjamin Comedy. I think that's what I got. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to read what I wrote about this. So it says, only you can see this post. It's been removed because it goes against our professional community policies. So when the mainstream media criticizes the mainstream media about a fact, it gets deleted. So this is, a lot of you guys are leveling up for the first time. So enjoy it. Like, really enjoy this because it's really fun. So what I wrote is, you're watching the snake eat itself in a degree that's hilarious, but, So what I wrote is, the evil cabal is having a hard time with communication systems across multiple platforms. I think they need to lay off the sodomy for a week or two and do some team building retreats that don't involve baby eating and butt play. I'm starting to feel bad for them. Their agendas fall apart faster than their rectums during Pride Month. They literally are now fact-checking the media's criticism of the media on a known fact. Okay, so this is why a great phrase to remember is just let it happen. So all the Q-tards out there and all those people, you don't need to do anything. Donald Trump is no hero. He's not. He sucks. He's funny. I'd hang out with him. I'd go golfing with him. I'd be his comedian for an event or something. Totally. As far as presidents go, he's hilarious. He's not a hero. He's very cuckold. unlike the president of Nigeria that did what had to be done and banned Twitter. They deleted one tweet from the president of Nigeria and he fucking banned Twitter. So anyway, just the snake eats itself. It's like running into a burning building with a flamethrower to burn the building is retarded. That's why we're doing Beartaria. And I know a lot of people don't understand Beartaria. It makes them scared. Even Kathy Griffin retweeted the article about my paramilitary and all that. My paramilitary consists of people with shovels and fucking rakes. And it's a much more powerful paramilitary than people with guns. Granted, we all have guns, obviously. But to decentralize farming and to start skill building, like, let me show you something. Like, this is something that would blow anyone's mind in Babylon. So here is great Odin one. I know I'd call him by his name, but I love his. Hang on, let me just make sure I get it right. It's like one-eyed Odin. Hang on. Great Odin's Raven. All right. Who was with us in the whole build? He's a champion's champion, guys. Him and his dad did sound for me on my last tour. Just came out of nowhere, brought a piano. Like, some of the best human beings alive. I actually think his dad might be caretaking Ursa Rio next year or something. I don't know. Anyway, so, because he only has one eye. So, one eye thing. It's great. All right. So, anyway, this is how you make fucking wood, guys. So, that's called an Alaskan mill. It's when you you put a chainsaw down and you just mill wood. So, we cut down that giant tree. That dude and a bunch of other dudes cut down a giant tree. Tempo Bear helped cut down the tree, who gave my son the drum. It's all right. And also, real quick, the Gammas that want to say, remember for like the last year, what did they say Beartaria was? A scam. They said it was a money scam where I just wanted money and I was going to run away from the money. Then as soon as they realized it's not a scam, that I actually used every penny I was given to buy the land and then fund building it. What did they call? A paramilitary training. So they're trying to ruin it now to prove that it originally was a scam. It's Talmudic reasoning. And I understand it. I don't mind it because it actually makes you stronger. It's like a way to build the roots. When you're growing potatoes, you put dirt on the leaves so that they send the energy back into the ground. It's great. So right now, so Talmudic reasoning is saying only the wicked should wear a mask. This is why a lot of certain people in New York City didn't wear masks throughout the whole thing. And so what they said is the wicked should wear a mask. It's in the Talmud. Not a big deal. I'm friends with some of the urban Amish. I call them urban Amish. As far as Jews go, they're some of my favorite. But it's a twisted logic where it's saying, okay, you will prove you're wicked by believing us when we tell you to wear a mask. Then you so let's say they say, oh, there's a deadly pandemic. We have no evidence, but trust the science. Trust Dr. Fauci. And if you put on the mask, in their mind, it proves that you were originally wicked. Therefore, you should be wearing a mask. Okay, right? So they're doing the same thing with me, which I'm totally fine with. It's actually like a spiritual thing. They call me a scammer. I say, no, I'm not a scammer. I'm obviously doing what I say I'm doing. I come through. I bat 1,000. So then they try to ruin what I'm doing to prove that it originally was a scam. If I break, if they are successful, they then time travel and they're like, look, it always was a scam. You understand? Even if it wasn't a scam, it's a way to kind of like pull out venom, where it's like, if you weren't strong enough to have a private campsite for bears, we will break you. And it's fucked up. And I don't recommend you guys become like that because it's a real fucked up way to live, where it's like, I'm going to beat you up so you get stronger. You know, there's ways to do it. You know, you shouldn't. Trauma is not the best teacher. It's not. It fucks you up. You want, like, my son, Walter, is very tough, and I've never beat him. It's like we have, like, controlled, fun wrestling where we're on a trampoline and we play, and we play to the point where it can be a little rough, but it's never like scary. He's never scared of me. Theoretically scared of me. I'm his father. He's seen me yell before, but it's like, that's how you really develop someone's strength, because trauma will naturally come. Like, nature has plenty of trauma in it. Long list of lies they told have destroyed them. Yeah. So the good news is, in this environment where you have all this circular logic, all these snakes trying to eat itself, we're gonna make you wear a mask, and that proves you're wicked, so you should be wearing a mask. I consider that a form of evil. That being said, I understand what that is and how to get through it. Where it's like, if you keep your roots and you keep your strength, and no matter what people say about you, you know it's bullshit. I know I've never scammed anybody. I know that my dream of Bertaria is beautiful and good and true, and Michael Jordan's dad used to tell him he wouldn't be anything. Right, but then you end up fucked up. Like, that's how you get, like, these MK Ultra guys. Want me to explain this a little bit? But I'm going to finish my thought. Okay, so the fruits of Bertaria you're seeing all around you. You're seeing bears growing, gardens, families, all that. So it's a beautiful dream. And I've shared the dream. And I've shared the dream without any apprehension, without any fear at all. And I knew that people would attack me. I knew that the media had come at some point. I knew that there would be this backlash. But in the winter, in the backlash, and the stress, you can get more roots. Because then now you're getting more bonded to each other. And then the devil in a year or two will say, look, we made you stronger. I see it all the time. There's people that are like, if I didn't beat you or if I didn't abuse you your whole childhood, you wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame right now. And, some of these guys like Kobe Bryant, all these guys are like, dude, I talk to demons, man. Like, what the fuck? It's so layered. It's crazy to see it happen in real time. Yeah. So it's like, to make a hyper successful guy like Tiger Woods, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, all this, it's like they use real trauma and that fractures the personality. But it's like not good, guys. This is not good. Don't be like this as a dad. You don't want Tiger Woods as your son. You don't want LeBron James as your son. The trauma that they put these people through in order to get them to be so highly focused at one thing, to do it so well. I had trauma as a kid. There's a reason. It's like, I get it. Not like a lot. I have a great mom, but it's like, I understand trauma-based training. Yeah, Mike Tyson, another great example. It's like, where it's like a level of abuse that gets you to a point where you become like really great or really fearless or whatever, but there's a sacrifice to it. And it's like, I'd way rather have a good relationship with my dad. I'd way rather, as an adult, like my dad's a public speech professor, rhetoric, all that shit. And he kind of helped traumatize me in ways in order to do stadiums and shit. Like, I'm successful beyond my dad's wildest dreams when it comes to Hollywood acting, comedy, all that shit. My dad always wanted to be an actor or somebody that published books or the big shots knew. And to see my name in lights with Vince Vaughn's or me in movies or any of that shit, it was like I was living out some of his dreams. And so I would way rather just be able to call my dad and say, how you doing, old man? Any advice for me? I would 10 times out of 10, and everybody would rather have a dad, would rather have somebody that there isn't this traumatic resentment with you. I don't resent them, but it's like trauma-based training makes them addicts. When they grow old, they have no spiritual. Exactly. And I used to have addictions myself. Not like serious drugs or anything, but just alcohol and sex. And in America, you just shrug that off and go, wow, that guy really crushes. It's like, no, it can keep you in a holding pattern until you're dead and you'll never have a family. So it's like pretty bad. All right, here's some more super chats. It's from Anthony. Good day, BB. I just recently started listening to your streams. Your gravy is just what I needed to move forward with my family's dream of self-sustainability. I've started a garden and began raising chicks. Can I be verified as Barefoot Bear? I own 5 acres in Utah, and I would share it with the bears. Welcome, Barefoot Bear. I love it. Green Thumb Bear says, hey, Owen, dropping a tip for the Piano Man. We've been growing and building more and more on our Bertaria here in the Hudson Valley. We're becoming independent of the system one step at a time. Guys, you're making me so happy. Because I don't want my kids to be, quote unquote, great. And I know that's a loaded word because they already are great. They're exceptional. They're like beautiful, loving, wonderful gifts that it's an honor to be a father to. But like the concept of greatness is not always what people think. Like I want them to be good. Like greatness can sometimes come if it's not totally organic. You know, some people just, it's like their natural path can just go towards a form of greatness, but like greatness always comes at a cost. And I'd rather have my children be good than great, where it's like good, balance, spiritual, material, mental, emotional. I'd rather have my kids have no addictions than to be great, than to have their names in lights or to be feared by the masses or like to own like thousands of people's lives. I don't want that for them. Like your mom always used to say, she always wanted you to have enough. Yeah, that's why I'm a day walker and I'm made for these times and I'm going to work as hard as I can with my talents. Highest IQ as a farmer, no ego, exactly. Because it's like my mom helped me get the salt of the earth quality where it's like what really matters in the world. Like family first, you know, farming, be fruitful, multiply, like all that stuff. Like we never got clothes outside of a yard sale. She quit her professor job to be a mother. Like all these things were so obvious to her. She's like, you know, the earth heals, speak the truth, you know, don't let shame fuck with you, all that. My dad gave me this like energy of like greatness where it's like, get your name in lights, get that money, you know, fucking. And so I have this audience now. I have these credits. I have these approvals that the system gave me because of qualities my dad gave me. But yet I wouldn't be evil because of what my mom gave me. And so the system rejected me. They had me sit at the table of power for a bit. And I was hosting award shows with Leonardo DiCaprio and flying in private planes and all this shit. And it's like, and the bees can say what they want about me now. They're lying like they always do. They always lie. All they do is lie. My father lies all the time. He only lies because it's about power, not truth. The two pillars, right? Truth, force. Not power, force. Money is force. Wickedness is force. And so then there's truth. Truth is subtle and simple. It's breastfeeding your baby. It's growing a tomato. It's truth. And then the force is like, I will own you. You know, and so when I didn't want that force, they hated me for it. And so that's why I think I am helping. And I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because it's like I got to see the light that my mother helped me have since childhood in a time of such lies. And a lot of people can see through this, but they don't have an audience. They don't have an ability to speak to thousands of people every day because you have these two towers. You have the Steven Crowder butt boy, you know, where he's like, trying to get the greatness because his dad is all MK Ultra type vibes too. You know, totally hit there. Steven Crowder's grandfather was a colonel in the Air Force. They're all tight with NASA. There's just this stench that with a little retrospect I can see of like trauma where it's like you are going to be a senator. You're going to fucking be great. You're going to acquire wealth and power and do what has to be done and all that shit. Without the truth, you're just empty. And so they mimic truth. They try to mimic it. And when you're in that force world, that politics world, it's like you can never say no one went to the moon. Even though it's obvious to everybody now. It's obvious, guys. Obvious. And so you can't ever say the truth. That's the trade-off. You got the two towers. All right. I'm going to open some mail. I don't know if that made sense. And I'm not tooting my own horn because I'm not as good of a person as a lot of the people that are just in truth. There's people that no one will ever know their name, and that's good. When Satan makes a statue of you, you should realize you failed at life. But like the reason I can help with this, getting these like communities going, is because I had that like force in me. Early videos of Crowder and his brother doing public humiliation performance almost made me feel bad for him. Something fucked up happened. Yeah. And he used to be real suicidal and gay. Guys, like to be into sodomy is really telling of who you are. That you associate love with rectal trauma. You know, to be into anal in any way is like, it shows that your brain is wired to think that pain is pleasure. And that's really bad. And that comes from having a childhood where, you know, pain is pleasure. All right. The system turns all normal people into demented narcissists surrounded by flatters. Interesting, Epstein's ghost. All right, this is a long one, but I'm going to read some. Hail from fellow denizen of the 49th parallel, but from the region of northern Bertaria that sees this rising sun about an hour earlier than you. I have a few odd thoughts to get off my chest, and I also wrote a parody song for you. Only you can do it correctly, because in you lies the talent to play the notes and sing the verses with the right expressive qualities. A talented lad you are, with a height that causes many a micromanaging grabbler to feel inferior. Because he knows he is a microman, and I'm not thinking of anyone in particular. Oh, heck, I'll admit it. I was thinking of Ben Shapiro. The more I think about all these think tanks and PragerU and such, the more I think they are just micromanagers for the devil. But no adult man or woman wants to be micromanaged. I think it's time to stop giving a shit what any of the millions of petty micromanagers infesting this realm like parasites think or say. I 100% agree. They don't matter. Did I just say parasites? Just a figure of speech, not trying to echo Mr. Mustache. What if Ben Shapiro talked and nobody listened? Yeah. Back in the day, they used to say, what if they had a war and no one showed up? I have to admit that sometimes I see very little positive movement in the world other than the Bears. Well, yeah, because a lot of it is there's no way to see it. It's all very, very local. And so that's why this is a very unique group. Because you're a paramilitary leader. I wonder if people can register that as sarcasm. Sarcasm's bad. I should always stay away from it. All right, I'm just going to keep going. Almost everyone else is just being yanked around by their chains, hither and yon. Take the Wuhan lab hypothesis now entering the mainstream. Only the bears and the quantum of conscience level type truthers seem to realize that it's all nonsense. Oh, yeah. They're feeding Fauci to the fire so that they can start a China war narrative. Guys, it's all stupid. Seeing all these right-wingers, they fall for the fucking mask. They fall for all of it. And now they're going to fall again. They're going to be like, I knew it was Wuhan. What is a Wuhan? It's a city in China with a laboratory. What scientist did it? So you're going to assign blame to an entire country, a geographic region of over 1 billion people, because potentially 5 guys did something that you can't prove. You can't isolate the virus. You can't prove virus causes illness. You have no idea. All this Fauci leak email shit is bullshit. They're just feeding the little rat to the fire. It's like, oh, look at the virus. It was definitely man-made. You can't even look at the virus. Look into virology. Really look into it. And dude, truthers are not, a lot of them are so easy to manipulate. They're like, I knew it. I was right this whole time. It was the China flu. The Wuhan flu. I knew it. Donald Trump was so right. The Chinaman political correct, it means we couldn't make fun of them. It's like, dude, it's so fucking stupid. China is the next Russia Cold War. Yeah. Yeah, BS, they're trying to say Wuhan to give legitimacy to virus that doesn't exist. Guys, viruses don't cause illness. To say a virus causes illness is to say firefighters cause fire. Because every time you see a fire, you see firefighters show up. Okay? It's the same exact metaphor. When you look at a fire surrounded by firefighters, you say, look, all these firefighters seem to be causing all this fire. And just like a logical hee-hawing jackasses, they just keep running around. Every time I'm sick, it seems that I have viruses in me. Well, since it isn't alive and can't pass to another human being except if it's injected and grown in tissue, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's not contagious. So then what is it, Big Bear? Sickness and dis-ease is caused by your lifestyle, your thoughts, your physicalities, and the season. There's whole seasons, something called flu season. It's not because viruses grow in that season, because viruses don't grow. They're made by your body. They're a solvent. It's a cleaning agent of your body for dead cells. It's not bad. It's like saying you can catch urine. Yeah, lack of nutrition. That's why I'm so into gardening and purpose and like community. Want to know what makes animals die? I have a fuckload of animals that don't die. All right. I have a herd of goats. I have cows. I have alpaca. I have over 100 chickens. I have 4 dogs. One of my dogs is 18. He's just running around like sprinting today in the field. I understand life. 3 children, a wife. There's life around me all the time. Want to know what makes animals die? Lack of nutrition, dirty water, and loneliness. Also being cold and wet. Being wet doesn't kill animals. Being cold doesn't kill animals. Being cold and wet. Not having nutrition, having dirty water, or being lonely. That's what kills animals. And you can blame it. The Wuhan flu. No. It's because you're not getting your 12 cell salts. You're not getting selenium and calcium and magnesium and vitamin A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You're not getting zinc. You're not getting, and no, don't take them in pills. Grow them in your garden. That's why you're sick. Facts. I get the flu every October without skipping a beat. Right, and that's healthy. You should get the flu once a year. The flu, if you never get the flu, it's actually not healthy. Your body should purge once a year. It should get hot to melt a bunch of shit inside it, and you should get a lot of snot and coughing and stuff, and not be hungry for 3-4 days. It's a reset. It's the winter. Every summer has a winter. You can't have summer forever. You need a winter. This is a fact. What I'm saying is provable fact. So algae and bacteria and water can make you sick. Heavy metals can make you sick. Being lonely, being depressed, not being grateful, thinking the world is meaningless, that gets you sick. Addictions get you sick. Not hugging people, not being around family or friends, having a circadian rhythm. I was talking to Mountain Bear the other day, and he's like, yeah, I no longer work my sodomy-based usury job. I make a lot less money, but I work with my hands for a family. And he's like, I'm proud of you, man. He's like, dude, I've never felt better. His circadian rhythm is back. You go to sleep when the sun goes down. You wake up when the sun goes up. You're awakened by the chickens that see the sun. Only red-billed rooster crows at the moon. You wake up. You eat watermelon in the summer. You drink raw milk in the winter and eat fat. This is the nature of things. In the spring, the days get longer. You heal your body with greens. You know, in the autumn, you eat sauerkraut. You start to ferment foods. You see pears and apples coming on your trees. Your water comes from deep inside the land that you're standing on. It has something called memory. There's memory to it. There's crystallization to it. You don't put fluoride into it. Seasons are like Earth's breathing. Yeah, exactly. It's like summer, winter, spring, summer, fall, winter, spring, summer, fall, winter. You see it? And then there's always going to be like you lower the oxygen. oh no, we're going to die. Oh, there's no, and then you start getting it back. Your lungs open up. Your system starts going. You get horny in the spring and the summer. You start thinking about sex. In the winter, you don't think about sex really. When you're in a natural cycle, that's what happens. Cancer in kids is the one thing that stops me from believing nearly all sickness is lifestyle and sin-based. I got theories about that. I'm just gonna keep reading this and then read super chats, maybe some music, but I think that there's a whole industry to I don't want to make any claims to get people angry. Okay, I'm just going to say some of my claims. I think a lot of it has to do with, there's genetic components, there's heavy metal components, but I also think that there is a huge industry. When I was a kid, a lot of kids had leukemia, a lot. And now leukemia is not a threat to kids. One of Kyneton's brothers almost died of leukemia. There's a kid in my kindergarten class who died of leukemia. Leukemia was this major thing in the 80s. Now it's almost gone. There's no leukemia. So what happened? I don't know. Was it either there was an industry revolving around, and I'm not even going to make a claim that they knew any better, but it's my dad taught us all this growing up and we thought he was crazy. Looking back, he was right about a lot. Yeah. You want a dad, for me, my dad was my hero as a kid. Looking back, he was a psychopath. You want to be a dad where at the time you might come off as a dick if the kid doesn't want to do what you say or he sounds crazy. But when you're older, wow, dad was right about a lot, right? That's the father you want to be, like Rebecca's father. You don't want to be the father where it's man, dad was tricking us the whole time. I can't believe I looked up to him. The doctors also said my brother would never have children. He has 4 now. Yeah, it's from COD. Take doctor statements with a grain of salt. Yeah, doctors, a lot of them are the biggest dupes in the world, but the biggest bunch of slaves in the world. I listen to Crow 777 every episode he has, all 2 hours. CRROW777radio.com. And he had this woman on recently who was diagnosed with incurable Crohn's disease. She'd have to use the bathroom 20 times a day. It was horrible. Her dad was literally a gut doctor. Her sister, a doctor. Okay, she cured herself with fermented food. She was having leaky gut. They said that it's incurable, that Crohn's disease is incurable. I have another close friend whose son had Crohn's disease. It was cured by intermittent fasting. None of the drugs worked. Her dad was literally a highly paid, highly respected gastro doctor. And he still won't listen to her. She cured her chronic Crohn's disease. It was because her gut flora biome was so off. And it was so she healed it with natural gut replacement with bacteria. My mom died of leukemia and non-Hodgkin's. Actually, they killed her with chemo. I hate oncologists or retards like nasty retards. Yeah, I'm not going to accuse them of being murderers, but a lot of them are okay, now that you've seen the COVID test, right? Just look back in your life. How many tests where they're oh man, I went through 10 years of chemo. I'm so glad I made it through. Glad they caught it early. It's how do you know they caught it early? With the exception of breast cancer lumps and a few other things, it's some of these people are just operating out of nonsense. And I'm not going to make any medical decisions for you. And I know that stuff gets very, very complicated and I don't know what I'd always do, blah, blah, blah. But when you're dealing with people in $300,000 of debt and their salaries are being paid by big pharmaceutical companies and they're literally not allowed to practice medicine in a lot of ways. How do you know what they're saying makes any sense? When I was a kid, it would be a kid would get leukemia. He'd go through 2 years of chemo and die. How do you know he had fucking leukemia? And by the way, it's like that with polio. It's so DDT was causing this massive problem in people's nervous systems. They were getting all these nervous disorders called polio. A kid would go swimming in a swimming pool filled with DDT to kill off the mosquitoes, and he'd lose his ability to walk within the week. Now, they blamed it on a virus without any evidence at all. They stopped it when they stopped using DDT, the rates of polio dropped 99%. It still exists. They just call it other names. They call it, what's that? MS and all these other things. It's like, so DDT was a toxic chemical introduced that was making people really sick. It's like that with so much shit. Cancer is your body's attempt to heal itself as it's being bombarded with glyphosate, heavy metals, fucking horrible sleep, high stress, no gratitude, no connection to God. All your food is processed. It comes out of a fucking plant, there's plants and there's plants. You want your food from living plants, not factory plants. They even call it a plant. A plant makes food. A plant makes food. Do you want your food to come from a fucking plant or a plant? They claim to stop using DDT to save the bald eagles. Exactly. They'll always have a cover story because of liability. As someone who's been in lawsuits, it's always about liability shields. It's about how much liability do you have? Liability, an ability to lie. So if you say, oh, we must save the Silent Spring. Oh, if there's no eggshells. No. Like 1 million kids lost their ability to walk. But they'll never say that. Look at what just happened with COVID. 100,000 small businesses go down. All these people lose their jobs. They lose their ability to breathe. They're terrified. They have Stockholm Syndrome over nothing. Nothing. So now they need a scapegoat to pull out into the... You yell at the scapegoat. You blame the scapegoat. It was the goat who made my wife fuck a black guy. And then you bring the goat out in the desert and you slit its throat. The new scapegoat. So the scapegoat was a little virus, right? And then the Fauci emails come out. Oh, masks don't do shit. No one cares. Just have vitamin D, right? And they go, oh my God. So it's Wuhan. Because these motherfuckers won't just speak the truth. The truth will set you free. What's the truth? The truth is it's bullshit. The truth is AIDS was a bunch of paranoid fags who spent 5 days in a bathhouse getting fucked in their ass on methamphetamines. Their immune system started shutting down, so they took AZT given to them by Dr. Fauci, and they died. So then these fucking idiots all wear a red ribbon and make an AIDS quilt and scare the shit out of little Owen when I'm an elementary school kid. When no more play, outside play, if you're bleeding, you might give each other AIDS. AIDS was nothing more than a degenerate behavior of gays. No random guy, no gay guy. It was like, oh, it's transmitted through sodomy. It was because their lifestyle was so dark that their immune system, the autoimmune, would start shutting down. Look at the symptoms of AZT. Let me look it up right now. You guys want a little lesson in disease? Side effects. It's the same fucking guy. It's Dr. Fauci pushed AZT. Of AZT. This is mainstream, guys. Conspiracy theory. Common side effects from AZT include headaches, nausea, vomiting, insomnia, tiredness, muscle pain, loss of appetite. Many people find that side effects caused by anti-HIV drugs go away after several weeks of treatment. All right, that's not what it really is. Hang on. Side effects where I'll even go to Wikipedia. All right. Let's read about AZT. The side effects happen to sound exactly like AIDS. All right, AZT was first described in 1964. It was approved in the United States in 87 and was the treatment for HIV in the World Health Organization. No, this is total bullshit. It was originally to treat cancer. Notice the time difference. This is when you need a discerning mind. It was discovered in 1964. No, it's a pharmaceutical drug that was made. They didn't find it in the jungles of Peru, guys. So in the 23 years before 1964 and 1987, what the hell was AZT being used for? I'll tell you, it was to help cancer. It was chemotherapy. Guess what happened when everybody with cancer started taking AZT? I'll give you a hint. They fucking died. All right, AZT is all right. Side effects. Even with the highest dose, AZT is not potent enough to prevent. All right, this is all nonsense. Even the main, it's like, okay, this is the reality of it. Dr. Fauci's name wasn't even on that fucking paper. So, hang on. So what happened? It's a very simple timeline. So the gays were starting to get released, right? They were hated. Not hated. Sodomy was outlawed. Sodomy is still illegal in 50 U.S. states. 50. Right now, that bitch who told everybody I was starting a compound in Idaho, she's breaking I'm not breaking the law. She is. Because I can spot a sodomite. I can spot a sodomite a mile away. And I can tell by her loose-fitting pants that she's no stranger to sodomy, which is still illegal. There's still prison time for sodomy in America. So in the 60s and 70s, with free love and all this bullshit, the gays started getting released. The thing about gay men is they have the sex drive of men. The beautiful engineering that God created with man and woman is that a woman is really sexual for maybe 2 or 3 days a month. The rest of the time, she can get a little horny. She'll enjoy sex, whatever. But like 2 or 3 days a month while she's ovulating, she really wants it, right? The rest of the time, she just kind of focuses on, quilting and braiding hair, not really motivated. If you look at lesbian couples, they have very low sex drives. They typically antique, drive their Subaru, complain, right? That's what they do. You rarely see a lesbian couple that are hypersexual. It's not in the female design. Oh, I like sex, Big Bear. I'm a porn addict. Yeah, that's deep-seated shit. But women are never like sex. It's not like men. Men have 100 million sperm pressed against their balls all the time trying to get out. Like prisoners trying to see the sun. Let us out of here. And they're always dying. It's like the Holocaust. I used to do a bit about this. Women have 1 egg a month. 1. Goes down, sits there for 3 days, gets a big house in the country. Is like, I don't like your shoes. The balls are like, I need to get out. Okay, so when you put 2 men together, they ravage each other's anuses because it's like the aggressive, predatory, perverse sexuality of testosterone and jizz is way different than progesterone, estrogen cycles of ovaries. Not even close. Women into porn is fucked up brain wiring. It's not a natural state. Right, exactly. Women can be aroused by beautiful, we're not going to get into it. Women can get that visceral, horny state, but it's not like men. And to say it's like men means you don't know women at all or men. So it's, how dare you, Big Bear? I get horny too. I am a dildo. It's like, stop and listen. They have no sex drive for each other. Right. So women's sexuality is completely different. I used to also do a bit about how when a woman has an orgasm and they've done CAT scans on the brain, it's like her past, her present, her future, the vow, the notebook, it's all lighting up like Christmas. It's like an orgasm for a woman chemically is different than men. For a man, it's 1 dot in his addiction center. Okay, so when you release the gays, this is what I mean when I just tell people I'm really smart. I know a fuckload about a lot. So like when I'm just like, pandas aren't real and people are like, oh, how dare you, you're crazy. I'm like, okay, you want to listen for a few hours and then you walk away like, what the fuck? Then listen. But this is what AIDS was. This is what COVID is. This is what the scapegoat is. This is what the drugs are. This is what cancer is. This is what the entire fucking medical institution is. White lab coats are worn by doctors and butchers. All right? They're butchers. That's fine, Denmark Bear. Like, I like trauma-based Western medicine. It's great, saves lives. Awesome. But like when it comes to dis-ease, they're literally butchers. It's like taking a fucking butcher that wears the same jacket as a doctor and asking him advice on how the cow should live. He's like, what do I cut? I'm a butcher. Okay, so I trust a butcher more than the doctor. Not a surgeon. A surgeon is an awesome butcher. Guys, don't put down Western medicine when it comes to what we're good at. It's like a Western doctor is fucking awesome at being a butcher. Like to get, the machines they have, it's unbelievable. But they don't know. They're not like their vision is like this big. They're like retarded. So what happened was the gays were released. So what do you do when you take two guys with male sex drives with their brains wired for dudes because of childhood trauma, molestation, whatever? You get fuck frenzies. Okay, so the societal guilt and shame that was put on sodomy before the 60s to free love kept the gays down because it was like a gay bar, they'd burn it down. Like people would just burn them down. They're like, no, sodomy's illegal. It's really evil. And we'll go back to that. Guys, it's all changing. Like this is the end of that era. You're about to watch it. It's just going to fall and then we're going to rebuild with the strong roots. Bertaria is going to be, allegedly, Bertaria could be like the leading culture of the future. It's farming, guys. We have stronger roots. That's all going to be wiped away. So anyway, the gays would go on. They couldn't believe the fucking. It's kind of like an 18-year-old man who's never been with a girl, and all of a sudden he's thrust into like a sultan's harem, and they're all naked, and they're like, "Let's go." Think about all the fucking he would do, like just like a healthy man who's been held back. He works out, he's strong. He really wants a wife one day. He's got more, but then you just throw him like that, like high sex drive, high health. You just throw him with like 100 naked chicks. Think about that energy. It's just like, oh, fuck. Like boners, just, right? It's like that when you first become famous. That's why a lot of famous people develop sex addictions because, you're held back by women. You're held back sexually. Men are held back sexually by women. It's like you go to a bar. You can't just be like, I like your pussy. Let's go. That's how gays are. Literally. How big's your dick? You got a car? Let's go. When you're famous, women are like that with you. That's why so many famous people have heterosexual males develop sex addictions. When I would get off stage in theaters after like crushing, there'd be like 5 attractive women like, let's go. And so that's why you're like, it's not like that for most men. And so you have a resistance to that. But even in that situation, it's still different than gay men. Because women still do they get more attached. They're more emotional. It's not the same. They want a nice night, a fun night. They're not looking to bang behind a dumpster. They're like, let's go to the river or look out here and play me some music in your hotel. They want something enjoyable. Men, it's just pumping, just disgusting. So the men it exploded. And the bathhouses in Haight-Ashbury, the Haight district in San Francisco, got nuts. Where they couldn't believe how much sex they could get. So they started taking methamphetamines and amyl nitrates to stay hard and awake for days and days. And the rectal trauma, the blood, the feces, the stench of it, and the drugs and the lack of sleep and all this shit. Think about how you feel after, let's say you're a new dad and you sleep 3 or 4 hours a night for a week. You start feeling crazy. Imagine being awake for a week just getting fucked in your ass. So their immune system started crashing. Now, at this point, they were unwilling to say maybe free love is wrong. Maybe Leviticus knows a thing or two about sodomy. No. It has to be a virus. Because a virus is what's called an egregore, where it's something you make up with your mind and you blame it on that. Transgender people in America blame all their problems on hate, where it's everybody against them. Oh, if we were just accepted, we wouldn't be suicidal. No, your hormones are shot. You have no idea who you are, and your lifestyle is horrifying. That's why you're fucked up. So these gays started saying, oh, what's killing these gays? because they were getting lesions on their skin, all symptoms of methamphetamine use, amyl nitrates, all this shit. So they started they're like, oh wow, there's this new virus called HIV. And it's the virus that causes AIDS, which is an autoimmune shutdown. Your immune system wasn't shutting down because of HIV. Why didn't Magic Johnson die? I'll tell you why, because he never took AZT. So what happened then is they searched for the cure. And they do these experimental cures where they'd be like, man, I'm sick. I'm weak. I have this ringing in my head, all from their lifestyle, 100%. So then they started taking AZT, and that shut down their kidneys. Philadelphia, that movie with Tom Hanks, dead. Yeah, amyl nitrates, yeah. And sodomy is really bad for your body. All your toxic load goes out your ass. I don't like this shit talk. I hate it. I think it's disgusting. But it's like, that's where all your chemicals are. Like everything that you ingest that your body doesn't use, it gets excreted from your anus. Your anus is not a sex organ. It's where all the toxins leave. So think about guys in a bathhouse on drugs for days, jamming their dicks into shit. That is what made them sick. It's obvious. So then, because they didn't want to accept the responsibility for their lifestyle, they took a drug that killed them. Sound familiar? The COVID-19 phenomenon is exactly like AIDS. It's the same guy. Dr. Fauci said, no, your problems have nothing to do with, and don't get me wrong, it was a weird season for disease. Like some people had weird symptoms. Do gay men get urethral infections from the fecal matter? Yeah, constantly. Constant. It gets in there. They get hepatitis all the time. All the time. They have constant STDs. And the STD is from the fecal matter. I've never had an STD. And I've had a lot of vaginal sex with a lot of women. And I never once had one because it was always clean. It wasn't like horrifying. It's like, that's why when people are like, oh man, I've had so many STDs, I'm like, you're into butt stuff then. Because you get your STDs from shit. Literally. How do animals die, guys? I tell you how animals die. When you get shit in the water that they drink, they die. I mean, they can go a little while, but that's why you got to change their water. If goats and cows and all these people, if they were just like into their own shit, like, I don't even want to get into it. But okay, now understand that our diet is terrible. That's animals that only eat grass. Imagine if you're eating Arby's and fucking Taco Bell and all this stuff. That's all in your ass. So happy Pride Month, everybody. This is where it goes. And so now the guilt and shame of the guilt and the shame of the gays led them to Dr. Fauci, where they all took the AZT and died. Now the guilt and the shame of COVID leads people to masks and vaccines. All right? The guy who invented mRNA vaccines is now saying they should never use it for max vaccinations of healthy people. Way too risky. Yeah, and this will wait, and they just keep washing away. It's a snake eating itself. But it's like, this is the good news, and then we'll keep going. Okay, you know how they keep changing my Wikipedia to make me look awful? Like when I'm right about shit, they take it out and then they add something else. It's a snake eating itself. It just keeps cycling. The tremors, the contractions, I like to call them, are getting faster. Where back in the day, it was like, you had like the JFK assassination. People were like, this doesn't seem right. And then you'd have like 20 years. And then you'd have like 9/11. And then you'd have like 10 years. You had like Sandy Hook, and then 5 years. And now it's every fucking day. It's like these people are lying every day. It's a birth. The crown virus, the corona, I believe is the crown. Could it be? See, everybody's so obsessed with the Antichrist. I think it might be the crown of Jesus. I don't know. Could it be? I don't live as if that's what's happening, but it's like the lie contractions are getting faster. Bang, bang, bang. Because it's always been like this. But the quote unquote public was never aware of it. It's like once in a lifetime, you'd be aware of something fucked up that happened. Whereas like, man, it turns out Martin Luther King Jr., he did a lot of crack and fucked a lot of hoes with Jesse Jackson, right? Like 50 years later, you're like, man, James Earl Ray, it turns out even Martin's family says he didn't kill him. And you're like, wow. 50 years later, you're like, huh. Now it would be a week later. Dr. Fauci right now, he went from hero, he went from pedestal to pit in under a year. Same with Cuomo, all this shit. Back in the day, it would take a lifetime. It would take like decades to learn what really happened. And so I believe it's just like the contractions of a birth. And I look to God. I don't look at Satan. I look at God. Where it's like, what's being birthed? I believe we're simultaneously birthing Christ and his counterpart. Could it be? It could be 100 years. I'm not saying that this is happening right now, but like, you know, the morning star is Jesus and Lucifer. I believe it's like a sine wave where it's like you have the two cathodes. You have the positive and the negative. You have the Antichrist, boom, boom, and then in comes in Logos. That's what I believe. I don't know when, but it feels like there's contractions. 2020 was definitely revealing because it was the perfect vision of 2020. Guys, God made the whole fucking timeline. Human beings have no control over this stuff. Imagine telling yourself in 1985 that you're like, you know how you get an eye doctor exam and you get 20/20 vision? You know, people have been doing that for like 100 years? In the year 2020, you will have perfect vision of what's really happening around you. They go, no way, that's coincidence. You'd be like, what if I told you that in the year 2020, people could see clearly for the first time since they were born? And then 2021, you got blackjack. Who's going to win? You or the house? Right? People are looking pretty confused and dazed except for the Bears, Amish, Mennonites, and other crushers. Yeah, but even they're seeing it. It's just on a different timeline. Don't get me wrong. There are the wicked. The Satan's army is right there. You can see them every day. But these dazed people that are like, what? We've all been there, guys. We've all been near the fire. We've all been pulled by the grace of God and the mercy of God away from the fire. Every one of us here. So it's like those dazed people, they're still like, what? They're not wicked. They just don't know. My 2010 vision was taken from me. Oh, Rebecca Bear, how dare you? You had 2010 vision? Wow. My vision's like 20/100. So we probably see kind of similarly now. All right, let me read more of this. Also, there's one very important truth about the media that I know you know, that most of the bears know, but it's worth repeating. If the mainstream media ever tells the truth, which is seldom, then they are telling the truth for an evil reason. Yeah, but it's like Fauci. When they are doing this current reveal that his emails were like doing Final Four, what disease is going to win, like real dark shit, right? It's just to drum up resentment towards China. They never tell you the truth to help you. If the media reports on the truth, it's only to get... Right now, they're trying to get the right wing to swell with pride to beat the war drums for China. Fact. It's like they want all these right wingers to swell with pride and say, I told you so, it was the Wuhan flu. And then that animalistic, visceral hatred for the Chinese can be taken and brought into the military-industrial complex. That's why they're doing it. There's no other explanation, in my opinion. And Fauci's not in on it. He'll be just thrown. It's all spiritual. The people involved in this are all retarded. Like Dr. Fauci is just a dirty little butt boy. I bet he did a lot of research in those bathhouses back in the 80s. I bet he got sucked off by more dudes than, I mean, it disgusts me to think about. All right. And it makes it seem like Fauci thought Corona was that bad. Yep, they want to get patriotic and go kill and sacrifice to more nonsense. Yeah, they're a death cult. They're obsessed with death. And to make the battery, just like 9/11, they make it taboo to criticize Muslims. This is why I fell for 9/11. Not at the time, but later. Where I was like, I'd be like, man, Muslims are kind of scary with their terrorism. And then the left, and they're, guys, you don't have to be left or right. It's gay. The left goes, how dare you be Islamophobic? They're just like us. And I'm like, they're not just like us. I mean, I would never fly a fucking plane into a building. And they're like, oh, how dare you, racist. And then what that does is you push it down. And then this fake thing to begin with, 9/11 was fake. Oh, how dare you? Whatever. Even if it was 19 guys, which I do not believe it was, you still cannot bomb 5 countries for 30 years based on the actions of 19 people. That's ridiculous. That makes you a psychopath. Don't join their shit. Actually, you know what? Go ahead. Fuck with China. I want to see all these people not get any washers and dryers anymore. Anyway, so like now they're trying to do the same thing where they're like, man, it seems weird. It's like people are talking about a bat. No, man, COVID. I mean, I don't think it's a big deal or anything, but fucking China, right? And they're like, how dare you? That's Asian hate. That's the most important part of the whole thing because that makes you hate the Chinese. It's like the Muslims. I never would have hated the Muslims. I did hate the Muslims for a little while. If the left, quote unquote left, hadn't suppressed any observation about it. Where you're like, man, so you're not going to admit they seem a little kind of explodey? Like, how dare you? They're just like us. They should be invited into your country and your bedroom. I'm like, oh, so that means they're like legitimately evil people. Because it makes you like mad. When someone won't, like China, where it's like, I mean, something's fishy going on with China, huh? It's like, how dare you have Asian hate? Suck their little dick now to make up for it. You got to love the yellow man. And that's when you create the right wing's bloodthirst to be like, the fucking left won't let us tell the truth. It's all fake. The left never even suppressed Donald Trump, or else they would have went after Jared Kushner. The quote unquote left never hated Trump. It was the best thing that ever happened to the left. If they actually hated his regime, they would have went after Jared Kushner. They never once did. They were never like, who the fuck is Jared Kushner? Why did Trump pardon his dad who like blackmailed people like for sexual blackmail? No, they're all in it together, guys. There's only one bird. It's 2 wings of a gay bird. All right, Andrew says, blessings to the family, BB. Can you play Flowers in Your Hair? I'll remind me later. Outdoor Bear says, onward. Thank you. Denmark Bear says, I know it's rough, BB, but when did we ever listen to gammas and pedophiles? Cheer up and stay strong. Thank you, Denmark Bear. I love it. He's a Danish doctor who's definitely not psychopathic. All right. I hated them too, BB. Camel jockeys need to go. Right, but it was total bullshit. Some of the best societies right now are Islamic. Like Malaysia and like some of these places, guys, in certain Islamic countries, you die if you push sodomy on children. You can't watch porn on the internet. They're like hard-working fucking family people. Dude, that whole thing's fake. The whole thing's a lie. All right. That brings me to this recent spat of articles about you and Bertari. It really does seem like the dying struggle of a mortally wounded dragon. They drove you out of Hollywood, then Saranac Lake. Now the jig is up. You and we ain't going nowhere. Exactly. I'm not leaving this area, and I've been getting a lot of support from the area. And once you put down roots, being in California or New York was not right place for someone like me. It's just way too liberal. But when I'm in North Idaho, it's like they can't. It's like once they see that I'm not going anywhere and I'll go interview them at their house. And they're trying to hurt me, then don't slander me. And I'm not trying to hurt Mike Whelan. We interviewed him, and he agreed to it. We have it all on tape, Mike, you little fucking pussy, you alleged pedophile. All right, so anyway, we aren't doing anything illegal. We aren't doing anything immoral. Exactly. But let's rephrase it in a positive manner. Where are we going? We're pushing the good, the true, and the beautiful. For 100 years or more, they've been making our world uglier while pushing falsehoods. Now it's the end game. People are too crazy and messed up to even survive if the system were to have a hiccup. Yeah, exactly, dude. The fear is because, like, let's say the power's out for 3 months. That used to happen all the time. If you go back to when America was great again, Trump, you fucking loser. Oh, how dare you, he's oppressed. No, he's not. He's currently ass fucking and playing golf in Mar-a-Lago, guys. He's fine. And unlike the president of Nigeria, he just took it from Twitter. Look at the president of Nigeria crushing. Stealing bikes, standing up to Silicon Valley. Look at this. Nigeria Indefinitely suspends Twitter after president's tweet was deleted. That's right. They'll steal your bike and kick you motherfuckers out. Yeah, you do not. Because everybody in Nigeria hates sodomy. They're like, no, it's disgusting. They know it's disgusting. Dude, shit falls out of your ass. Guys, it ruins your rectum. You have to have anus surgery. Happy Pride Month, everybody. Should be called Shame Month. And I'm not allowed in America to say that. They kick me off every platform. And, oh, it's a private company, but it's a human right. No. Yeah, and Odyssey will tolerate me for a little while. I know what they're up to, too, with their crypto bullshit. I'm not going anywhere. The internet isn't going anywhere. Brutari Times is not going anywhere. Unauthorized is not going anywhere. And how dare you talk shit about Odyssey? Dude, I know the system. Odyssey is going to try and get as many people to be here and pretend like they're all about free speech, just like D-Live. And then right before they try and do an IPO, they kick off the filth like me, right? Did I nail that one, Odyssey? So let's have an honest relationship while I'm here. You want to be honest, Odyssey? I'll be honest too. You have a nice platform where I can live stream for free. Thank you for that. And I bring a lot of clicks and numbers. Great. Now, we both know you're eventually going to kick me off because you're going to try and make it look squeaky clean for your sodomite overlords before you try and get $10 billion in fake money to trick people. Airbnb kicked my fucking wife off. I know what you people are up to. So when that happens, great. No hard feelings. We both are in this honestly. And if you want to be someplace that will not happen, unauthorized.tv, BeartariaTimes.com, unbearablesmedia.com. Get an allegedly hoodie at unbearablesmerchandise.com. And you can support my crusade at P.O. Box 490, Sandpoint, Idaho, 83864. All right. Too crazy and messed up to even survive the system, but not the bears. They will be there standing and helping out their neighbors. Yes, we will be a godsend when that time comes. And that will come. There will come a time when the Great Bear Trail is the refuge for these people, for the refuse. And at that point, you get to make the decision. I'm not going to make the decision for you. At that point, you get to make the decision. Do you feed these fucking people? And it's not an easy decision to make. When they come, the people that called you deplorable and trash and racist and push sodomy on your kids, when they come with cup in hand to your door, trying to get a little squirt of milk, you decide if you feed them or not. Because that will happen in your lifetime, 100%. If you start getting more self-sustaining, there will come a time when these very motherfuckers are going to try to beg for you to give pity to them. And at that point, you can say no. And you have a biblical right to say no. Would I feed them, BB? I'd make them builder buddies. Work would set them free. We'll see how they do. All right. I wouldn't just give them free food. No, never. I'd say this is the deal. You have to do this labor. Work will set you free, and you will be fed. And we will see if you have that divine spark in you, and it'll start to grow. And then if you do see the error of your ways and you re-accept God and you understand what this realm is, slowly you will get more, more of my milk. I struggle to say yes. Yeah, but you're going to want those builder buddies, Scott. The human is the most valuable thing in the world. A living man with hands, a living woman with a womb, or an ability to knit or watch children is the most, it's more valuable than all the robots in all the world and all the crypto and all the money. One living human being. I don't care if you just got off a 5-week bender up your butt and you've been lying about me on the internet for the last 4 years trying to make my life hell. I don't care. You got the real digital revolution, baby, your digits, your hands. And if you got hands that can work and you have eyes that can see and a mouth that can taste and ears that can hear, you are a miracle. You're a miracle and if you're still alive, it means God hasn't written you out of his screenplay yet. And there's a reason for that. And so you come to my door, hat in hand. You know, you won't be allowed around my family. You won't, you know, you can come and go as you please. I know that the optics around barbed wire and all that are pretty bad. But in order to earn food, you have to do work first. And if you do anything that's immoral or try to subvert or whatever, the penalty is extreme. It's banned for life. It's ostracism for life. And you'll see that in your lifetime, I promise you. It's coming from a guy who called cum rocket coin. The system has another hiccup, and you will see desperation like you've never seen before. And the very people, guys, they're the most fucked. These bloggers, these wheelchair pedophile bloggers, they're the most fucked. The people that are sitting on their high horse saying, oh, you're racist, bigot, homophobe, sexist, where's your mask? Oh, you want to hear what I do now? This is great. Exile is I'm not into executions. I'm an exile guy. May you live 1,000 years. You're never allowed in Bertari again. If someone else wants to kill you, I mean, that's different rules for different nation states. But what was that? Oh yeah, my new thing I do is when there's like when there's people that are like being a dick or something, like the people that were just forcing all the masks on you or whatever. If they like, I don't know how to phrase this. Like, how's the best way to describe what I'm trying to say? It's just be like, you know, I'd really feel more comfortable if you wore a mask. There's nothing funnier than saying that when you're not wearing a mask. When you're like, you know, I think we'd both be more comfortable if you were wearing a mask. And it's like, but you're not wearing a mask. I'm like, I think we'd both be a little more comfortable if you were wearing a mask. You know, now that a lot of those like mask hyenas are starting to like try to not wear masks, I'm like, where's your mask, ladies? Come on. Weren't you just berating everybody to wear one? I think we'd all be more comfortable if you kept on the mask. Because one of the reasons they're all wearing the mask is they're ugly. Ugly. Woof. You know, for a while, I'm like, man, I miss smiles. Why won't people take the mask off? Guys, get it back on. I don't want to look at so many of these faces. Like they take, like you see one of these like mass Nazi psychos not wearing a mask. I'm like, ew, I see. Because that's why they're doing it because they're so ugly. And guys, it's a really beautiful world when just you and other beautiful people aren't wearing masks. And all the ugly people, out of respect, cover their fucking ugly faces. All right. The beast system does not like what you are doing, but it can't stop you because those who pursue the good, true, and beautiful with humility and love for God in their hearts can't be stopped. Thank you. Hilarious. Yeah. Oh, and I'm not saying like model hot. When I'm saying ugly, I mean like spiritually ugly. Usually it involves a giant nose, and some sort of like their face is always like twisted. Show me you care and put your mask back on. No, I want the mask back on. All those people that were wearing masks in shame, there was a fucking great reason. Guys, I'm going to miss 2020. Now that 2020, you're starting to see some people that take the masks off that should not be taking them off. Oh, so you think the virus... No, I don't think the virus spreads or causes anything. So why should I wear a mask? Because you're ugly. And your face is distorted with shame and porn and sodomy. And I don't like to look at it. I'm not going to force you to wear a mask. But I would hope that out of the decency for me and the elderly, the last thing you want to see if you're an old person in a high risk for death category is an ugly face. So do us all a favor. Like all the old people now are going to be like, oh God, think about how many heart attacks are going to be called. Or think about how many heart attacks of the elderly are going to be from seeing ugly faces. If you've been wearing a mask this whole time, keep it on. I'm serious. The old will die if they look at your twisted, perverted face. Your big rat nose, your frowning face, your zitty, pockmarked face. You know, I bet you're if you have a beard, I bet it's patchy and full of cowardice. Damn it, Gary, keep it on. No, I hate when they're... Now that I'm seeing all these mask mandates lifted, I'm devastated. Because I realize I've been living in a very beautiful existence. Like everywhere I look, the people without their masks on are beautiful, full of life, full of energy. You know, their skin is smooth from the sun, from lack of shame and stress. You know, look at my skin. Look at how beautiful my skin is. That skin that hasn't been hiding behind a mask for over a year, jerking off to pornos and pounding Mountain Dew off government cheese. Okay, now that the masks are gone, I'm like, oh, Jesus, put that fucking thing back on. You're going to scare the old people. Guys, they were right the whole time to wear the mask. They were right the whole time to wear the mask. The mask is keeping the elderly alive, not because of the ridiculous lie of COVID, but because of how ugly these faces are. 2 masks. And it's better to socially distance from me. I'm serious. If these motherfuckers get within 6 feet of me without a mask on, get. I'm calling 911. Arrest this man. He's breaking protocols. At least get some documentation on him. It's now hard to tell the courageous and honest. Because now the people taking their masks off because they got the vaccine. Put it back on. You can always ask for their COVID pass if you don't recognize them. I'd be like, can I see your proof of vaccination? Guys, I get it. I think it's fucking great. I want them to wear their mask forever. We need to mandate masks for ugly people? No, they do it on their own. Another hiccup in the system, and those masks will go right back on, thankfully. And then you look at other people, beautiful, tan skin, you know, thick follicles of courage on their face. Thick hair. You know, look at that hair. And I'm not a beautiful man. Don't get me wrong. When I was painted 400 years ago, I was very beautiful. Look at that. But I have a beauty to me because of my lack of fear and because of my good lifestyle. You understand? Look at this. Look at this hair. I'm 41 years old. Thick, beautiful hair. Look at my skin. Look at my clear eyes. Look at that, right? That's not because I'm blessed with beauty, guys. It's because I drink water without toxins in it. I don't fuck anyone in the ass. I don't have horrible despair thoughts where I just seek revenge on the internet all day. You know? I eat fresh vegetables from my garden. I'm hugged by my family and friends. And there's beauty in that. I have beauty in my face, but it's not model beauty or that. And I know a lot of you guys too. That's why when I say ugly, I don't mean like you have this model face. You know, those people are a different type of ugly in a certain way. I'm talking about the glow of the spirit, of the low fear, high trust, high gratitude, hydrated skin filled with magnesium, selenium, zinc for that dick of yours, right? BB, your hair is nice. I'm 41. 41 years old. Look at this. Look at his hair. Look at his skin. Not a blemish on it. Look at that. Look at that skin. You see that? You want to know what that is? It's a grateful life. Now, you could take my exact genetic clone, send me back to March 2020. You put a mask on me, you give me pornos and feed me despair, I'd look disgusting. And at that point, when I'd peel the mask off, and just peeling off, my nose would be 3 fucking inches longer. Can confirm BB's surroundings are full of life. Life everywhere. Chickens, ducks. No one's scared of viruses. Water pumped out of the earth. Everything's ovulating all the time. Every animal on my property ovulates every day. Every day. Oh, when do you breed your goats? Whenever the fuck I want. They're ovulating every day. There's so much life here. It's the opposite of a panda bear. What a great stream. Thanks. Yeah. But all these other people, 6 feet, wear the mask. You are one step away. I don't know. I got nothing on that one. I think I'm winding down my bit. Most models look sickly now. Yeah, and their diets are so bad to get those like abdominals that they haven't shit in a week. Not to be disgusting. I hate it too. But when you have 3 kids, shit talk just seems very normal. But it's like they don't shit. I know. I hate to talk too. I used to be, for the only time in my life I've ever thought about seeing a psychiatrist was because I didn't want to admit human beings shit. Dear Big Bear, is it true you make fun of Bear Pelagic because when you saw him at the Portland show, you were jealous of how handsome he was? No, it's because he's a little rat bastard in a wheelchair. Is it true men want women who can catch a kitchen versus the model types now? Yeah, the model types were never, guys, I used to be a bit of a sex addict who had a vast, the gamblers are going to freak out on what I'm saying right now. The quote unquote model type was never like the draw because they're always like, I don't know, there's something kind of childlike about them. I can't explain it. No, you want a woman with curvy hips, a face that you love to look at, kitchen skills, motherly, loving, honest, hardworking, good skin, your bodies line up great. You love to spend time with them, symmetry. It's great. The model type, quote unquote, you're looking at cokeheads. Their body, there's a stench to it. When someone's on too much uppers to stay skinny, it's like their skin, there's like a stink. You know how like black people have a stink? Like when you're around allegedly, when you're around some blacks, they like smell like peanuts. Allegedly. It's like that too with models. All right. That's why they hate you. You inspire men and women. You do it with humor, music, and emotion that comes from the heart. What fear that must inspire in those who thought that the dark was rising and would win. Indeed, the dark is not rising. Guys who want model types are just shouting from the rooftops. They whack off all the time. Yeah, but it's like, what kind of model? Like, don't get me wrong. You want beauty, but model types is in like Instagram thoughts or porn girls with their big fake silicone tits. No, you got to be a special kind of psychopath to like that. But yeah, I mean, you like actual beauty, like the kind of beauty where any day you look at somebody and you go, you're beautiful. That like in my world, that would be the model. But in this fucked up world, the quote unquote models have little boy bodies that look like they're like about to die. I used to always do bits about this years ago, even before I was like a dad and husband, all this. I used to do bits about how, models would come out to like watch or something. And or like porn star type chicks. They'd be like, oh, you're my favorite comedian. Oh, did. And my joke was always like, I'd always want to put a blanket around him and give him some soup, tell him everything's going to be okay. And I'd be like, who's your friend, the nurse? You just see this like woman, like they'd be with like when I say normal, I mean healthy. When I say normal, it's not a put down. It's like these girls is like a Maxim or like, I'm trying to think of specific. I don't know. Like a Guess Jeans model to come out to see, this Guess Jeans. Dude, I'm so detached from that world right now. I don't even know what I'm talking about. But it's like, this girl, she's got like a billion followers on fucking Instagram and she thinks you're so funny. And you'd be like, dude, does anyone have a blanket and some hot cocoa for this girl? I think she's been traumatized. And then it's like, who's your friend, the kindergarten teacher? All right. We see people we thought were on our side attacking you, and sometimes they attack us for supporting you, for not condemning you. That has happened to me over dogma and petty issues. Yeah. Here's a recent screenshot from such a man I thought was an ally. See the video, it's sort of funny. Random heretic burnings. Oh, that guy? Oh, yeah, that guy's crazy. Doesn't even matter. It's like, burn the heretic! Burn the heretic! It's like, good luck, man. Good luck with all that. The heretic. They're live action role playing that they're Christians. They're Christians who believe there's bases on the moon. Right? Just reread Genesis. It's all there, guys. All right. Imagine that Logos and Truth is a musical composition. Oh, yeah, and they all look real sickly. Wow, that guy looks fucked up. I'm not even going to say who it is. Oh, 448 whole views. Yeah, because the darkness doesn't draw eyeballs. No one cares. I know 2 people already who've died within 2 weeks of getting the toxic jab. On my way to 5, Amy bats 1,000. Yeah. You want a wife who bats 1,000. Like when I first met Amy, she was like the most beautiful woman. It was like it blew me away. And then we fought and had a very tumultuous relationship for about 2 years. And then as we started like really getting good, it's like I know it sounds corny, but I still can't believe I got her as a wife. And it's only gotten better. It's like to see her blooming as like a cheesemaker now and shit. It like marriage is the beginning of your understanding of women. Sure, you'll know how to make them come, or like, oh, this is how you manipulate them into getting sex, or man, they really don't like it when you hit them. But like when you actually like love a woman, that's when you really see what a woman is, and it's endless growth. It just keeps growing. But you made it work. Yeah. Well, we were both kind of crazy at the time. So this is from Finish Bear. Nice. Imagine that Logos in Truth is a musical composition of infinite beauty and containing more notes than any man could play in its entirety. Even a musician with your gifts. Wouldn't it make sense that each man, woman, and child in every culture and time and place would interpret this divine musical score differently? Yes, exactly. Exactly, dude. That's why, if you're not Catholic, you don't go to heaven. You're gone. And if you don't leave on your own thing, it's like, I'll kick you out. If you're not Muslim, you don't go to heaven. It's the same thing with those guys. That's why the Muslims that I connect with the most are the ones that are like tree of life, tree of knowledge, where it's like, only Allah knows. You know, that type of shit. I'm like, yes, my brother. It's the same with Christians, same with everybody, same with heathens, where it's like, my brother, you know, the good, the true, and the beautiful. Only God can provide, only God knows. It's amazing. At that point, you're not like, oh, the Jew. It's like, which Jew? Ben Shapiro? Or our guys in fucking Israel right now? The Aryan kosher nation. You know you want to be friends with those people. As much, I hate the Jew, I hate it. Dude, no one got more paranoid about the Jews than me. I made Mean Mr. Mustache look like a fucking Dennis Prager video. And it's like, but over time you realize it's total bullshit. It's like, there is no such thing as like Jew. It's like there's only evil and good. There's only lack of awareness in life. There's only like death, life. There's parasites and hosts. And you can't say it's this group. Like watching the Catholics and the Orthodox fight each other like little homos. Guys, these guys, they're calling me heretic and all that. They're this close to fucking each other. Oh yeah, now it's the Chinaman, not the Jew. Hang on. I could do this. Oh, me got no dick. Me got no dick. Me got no penis. Dude, the left wing goes, oh, how dare you, Asian hate. And the right wing goes, we got to bomb them. And I go, neither. They're just little dudes with little dicks. You don't have to bomb them, and you don't have to pretend that they can't take a joke. You don't have to pretend that they believe that their dick is big or their music doesn't actually sound like this. The rain fall under my penis. Guys, their pubes cover their boners. You don't need to kill them, and you also don't need to pretend they can't take a joke. There's the left and right paradigm is all crazy people. All. These right-wingers now, they're like, oh, I knew the Wuhan lab. We got to do what needs to be done, patriots. Dude, my loyalty is to God. And God is truth. Now, do you really believe the truth is that all of this insanity in America and the world was caused by China? No, it's caused because you wanted to wear a mask because you're an ugly masturbator. It's caused because you didn't want to go to work and you wanted your free CARE Act money. It's caused because people want to scapegoat their horrible behavior on anything besides themselves and just call it a virus. That's why this happened. And if now you want to go murder more farmers in the fields in a foreign country because you won't face the fact you were tricked by leprechauns and no one's going to save you. Jesus Christ's going to save me. You don't know that, dude. Jesus Christ says, if you're lukewarm, he spits you out. I never knew you, he will say to some. I never walked with you. You never walked with me. You have no idea. I don't know if Jesus is going to walk with me. I hope, I pray. I have a good feeling about it. But I'm not going to say, oh, Jesus will save me and not you. I don't fucking know. What if he looks at me and he's like, you fucking talk about dicks too much? I don't know, but I'm giving it my best. All right. What if he's really mad that we said Jesus is not Yahshua? Or his real name is like it's that. It's 4 clicks. If you said 3 clicks, you don't get to walk with Jesus, all right? You don't know. But you also kind of do, though. All right. It's weird. It's kind of a paradox. Slantai, skeptical of Vondai. Dude, just don't change. Don't change every 10 minutes because of the fucking media. I'm staying the same way I always have with Chinese people. I make fun of their dicks. I make fun of their music. I think they have a great work ethic. I think a lot of them are really smart and almost pathologically good at utilitarianism. That being said, do I blame any of my problems on the Chinese? No, I don't blame any of my problems on the quote-unquote Jews. Sorry, too much gay talk. Yeah, it's like, listen, you made your point in 2018, Big Bear. You didn't have to keep ramming it in there. I'm like, no, but see, Jesus, I'm like coming up with new shit all the time. Like, talk about rectal failure. I'm pretty sure I got 5 people away from sodomy just from that rhetoric. He's like, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, you got to ram that one in. You kind of do know, you just don't make claims to it. Right. All right. Yeah, because sometimes I don't feel blessed. Like right now I feel blessed. I usually feel blessed. I usually feel in the kingdom of God. Sometimes I don't. Like the other day, I was really down. I was really like, I even said it to myself. I said, I feel like I'm in hell. And it was for about an hour. And I was like, it's fucking weird. It's like dimensional shit. I'm like, I prayed. I was like, and I started singing my son's gratitude song. I'm grateful for my family. I'm thankful for my friends. I'm thankful for the things I have. The thank yous never end. What are you? I'm in my car singing this shit to myself because I felt like I was in hell for like an hour. It's really weird. It's like dimensions. It's like you're in different kingdoms at different times. And it's like I was real stressed out for about a lot of shit. And I just felt numb. I was like, there was about an hour where like the colors weren't bright. I was like resentful of people. And I swear to God, I was like, this is what hell feels like. And then I got out of it, thankfully. But that happens to people, man. It's like most people live in hell. Most people live all the time in a resentful, ungrateful, numb bullshit exist. It's like, and when you feel it again after you've been out of it for a while, like I think it's almost like a radio tuning, you know, where you tune. And like every now and then your radio gets like hit and you're like on a different station. You're going from like, I can see clearly now the rain. And your tune hits. It's like, rah, 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 and you're like, or it's like, and for a while you're just like, this sucks. And then you're like, what? This sucks. What is this? You know? And most people are in that static all the time. They don't have clear thoughts, clear emotions, clear purpose. They're not grateful, you know. Anyway. The parody song I wrote is based on a song by Uber Boomer Jimmy Buffett, the guy known for singing and smoking pot. Let me take a look. As the son of a grabbler. Son of a grabbler. Parody of a son of a... See, I don't know son of a sailor, so I can't play it right now. I'll look into it, though, Finish Bear. Thank you for your letter. I'm going to play to build a home after I read the Super Chat. Super Chat, me Kyneton. Great metaphor. The younger people need to try tuning an old radio. Yeah. Yeah, I have great hope and great worry for the youth. I think some are going to be far ahead of any of us. Like my kids, they're all like, guys, it's not about... They're not doing anything to us. If you eat right, you have a grateful home, you exercise, you give your kids responsibility, classes in like violin, you know, whatever you can. it's like you're looking at the future is so bright, it's insane. If you feed them Twinkies and fucking leave all the commercials on with the TVs on, don't let your kids watch commercials. Even like YouTube videos, nothing. No commercials. You keep the porn away from them, whether it's violence or sex or any of that. Guys, like the future is crazy bright. Like they're better than we ever were. But when it's all like pornos and fucking no contact with people, no contact with food. Oh yeah, flowers in her hair. Then the future is horrible. It's horrible for some people. All right, caught up on Super Chats. Thank you, Kyington Bear. If anybody wants to tip the Piano Man, entropystream.live/app/Owen Benjamin. Comedy. Yeah, I always forget it. Owen Benjamin Comedy. All right. When we were younger, we thought everyone was on our side. Then we grew a little and romanticized the times I saw flowers in your hair. It takes a boy to live. It takes a man to pretend he was there. So then we grew a little and knew a lot. And now we demonstrate it to the cops and all the things we said. We were self-assured. 'Cause it's a long road to wisdom. It's a short one to being ignored. Be in my eyes. Be in my heart. Be in my eyes. Be in my heart. So now I think that I could love you back. And now I hope it's not too late. 'Cause I find, and the way you move, I won't close my eyes. 'Cause it takes a man to live. It takes a woman to make him compromise. Be in my heart. Be in my heart. Be in my eyes. Be in my heart. When we were younger, we thought everyone was on our side. Well done, and romanticized the times I saw flowers in your hair. It takes a boy to live, it takes a man to pretend he was there. And then we grew a little, knew a lot, and now we demonstrate it to the cops and all the things we said. We were self-assured. It's a long road to wisdom, it's a short one to being ignored. Be in my eyes. Be in my heart. Be in my eye. Be in my heart. Be in my eyes. Be in my heart. Be in my eye. Be in my heart. Great song. Any other requests? I'm going to close with in honor of all the great work that was done and will be done at Ursa Rio. I'm going to play To Build a Home. All right. Something is up when Odyssey keeps loading, but yet YouTube works like a top. You just figured out something's up? All right. There's some delay. All right, cool. There is a house built out of stone, wooden floors and walls and windowsill. tables and chairs worn by all of the dust. This is the place where I feel at home. This is the place where I don't feel alone. And I built a home for you and for me until it disappeared from me and from you. And now it's time to live and turn to dust. Out in the garden where we planted the seeds, there is a tree as old as me. By the cracks of her skin, I climbed to the top. I climbed a tree to see the world. When the gusts came around to blow me down, I held on as tightly as you held on me. I held on as tightly as you held on me. And I built a home for you and for me until it disappeared from me and from you. And now it's time. It's time to live and turn to dust. Floating down through the clouds, memories come rushing up to meet me now. But in the space between the heavens and the corner of some foreign field, I had a dream, a place to stay, enough to eat. Somewhere old heroes shuffle safely down the street, where you can speak out loud about your doubt and fear. And what's more, no one ever disappears. You never hear their standard issue kicking in your door. You can relax on both sides of the tracks, and maniacs don't blow holes in bandsmen by remote control. Everyone has recourse to the law, and no one kills the children anymore. All right, that's going to be it for me today. Unauthorized.tv, P.O. Box 490, Sandpoint, Idaho 83864, BearTariTimes.com. Much love, everybody.